All right, so this is a formula that you can use to guarantee to have a breakthrough in multiple areas of your life in the next few minutes here. So tune in, get yourself a notebook, write this down, right? Or, even if you're just able to listen to this right now, you can, you don't have to write it down per se, right? But, writing down is always helpful. So this, if you want your life to change, right? And keep lasting change. Right? Because it's one thing to change and have a little bit of a breakthrough, but way, way, way different, right, to have lasting change. I mean, just look at your life, right? Look at the past year and notice the changes you had, and then which of those changes were sustained and were lasting. So that is my intent with this video. With this audio, I'm going to give you one of the greater exercises I've learned recently in terms of getting yourself an all-around breakthrough. So I'm going to explain there's 5 types of mastery. First, so I'm going to explain it, and then I'll give you a 2-part exercise. So tune in and let's get going. Okay, so overall mastery, right? What does mastery mean to you? Do you want mastery in your life? Do you believe it's even possible to have mastery in your life? How about a little bit more mastery, right? Wouldn't that be great? Where you could master your relationships a little bit more, or master your physical body, your physicality a little bit more, right? Overall, this is really important stuff. You want your life to get better. So here's what we're going to look at. So there's 5 types of mastery for this exercise, and we all have them to varying degrees. So first, we got emotional mastery. This is your ability to be stable. This is your ability to know what's going on inside you, having that awareness, that emotional intelligence, right? And then being able to direct it. Not having it direct you, rather you direct it. So emotional mastery is number 1. 2 is physical mastery. This is mastery over your health, what you put in your body, your strength, your capabilities, physically, what you're able to do. 3rd, relationship mastery. This is mastery of your network, mastery of your connections, mastery of your contacts. You know the old phrase that your net worth comes from your network. Well, if you really look at it, with the right network and the right relationships around you, you will never, ever run out of resources, right? You can do so much just from your relationships. I think everybody listening to this, including myself, we underestimate the value of just sheer number of having people in your network, the network effects. If you don't know what network effects are, make a note of that, look into that. Really profound concept, because this is the power of your relationship. So we're going to look at how you can master that. Next, financial mastery, right? Really having that mastery of your money, your wealth, how money works, your cash flow, how you can track that, how you can understand that, and then use it to your advantage and the advantage of all those around you. And then finally, 5, we got time mastery. So time mastery. This is how do you think. What is your philosophy about time, both short-term, long-term? This is not time management. This is mastering your relationship to time itself, so you can manipulate time, you can bend time, you can distort time. And as you have this, time can become your ally, right? We'll get into that in a minute, what that means, right? Time becoming your ally, because time's either working against you or time can be on your side. So let's dive in. There's 2 parts. Okay, part 1, we're going to go through each 5 again, and I suggest rate yourself. Again, if you can write this down, awesome. If you can't write this down, just say it out loud to yourself. And you're going to rate it 1 to 10. 10 being you are fully, in your complete self-honesty, you are a full master of it. 1 is you are struggling a bit. You got some work to do, okay? My suggestion, don't give yourself a 7, okay? 7 is this default cop-out that we tend to give ourselves with our minds. You're either a 6 or you're an 8. Come on, you know. You'll know if you're a 6 or an 8, okay? So just word to the wise, don't give yourself a 7, all right? 6 or 8 or any other number, 1 to 10. All right, so first things first, emotional mastery. Right now, where are you at in your emotional mastery, 1 to 10? Okay. Step 2, physical mastery. Where are you at right now? And remember, if you're lying to yourself, you ain't hurting anyone but yourself. You can actually create even more consequence if you lie to yourself. So just be brutally honest. You don't have to share this with anyone. Step 3, relationship mastery. Both intimate relationship, significant other if you have that, or if you want that, you desire that, as well as relationships with others, right? Your community, your network, all that. 4, financial mastery. Where are you at in that? 1 to 10. And 5, time mastery. How good are you with time? How good are you with the various time spans, time cycles in your life? Okay, that was phase 1. Ready for phase 2? Ready or not, here it is. Look at it. Do you have any 9 or 10 on your list? Do you have any 1, 2s, or 3s on your list? Right? You better not have a 7. If you have a 7, look at it and be like, look, is this actually a 7 or is it a 6 or an 8? It might genuinely be a 7, okay? I'm partially playing around, but really, 6s and 8s is way more accurate. Okay. I'm guessing you likely don't have a 9 or a 10 on everything. So here's now the next phase. All right. This is where I definitely suggest write it out. Again, if you can't, say it out loud. And do this. You can do this exercise once a month. Write out for yourself, and line by line, what a 9 or 10 looks like for you. What would a 9 or 10 look like? And be realistic, right? Don't be super hard on yourself. Don't go crazy with it. Just what does a 9 or 10 actually look like for yourself, okay? So, step 1, emotional mastery. What does a 9 or 10, right? You could write out a word. You could write out a phrase. You could try and describe the image in your mind. You could write out some examples of what this looks like for you, right? Maybe some role models who have this, and then what are they doing, right? So write it out so it's very clear for yourself. What is a 9 or 10 in terms of your emotional mastery? What would that look like? Okay, give yourself a moment. If you want to pause, go for it, right? You could write a whole novel on each of these. Write a whole page, write a whole essay. All right, number 2, physical mastery. What does it look like? What does a 9 or 10 on physical mastery look like? Be realistic, yet 9 or 10. Okay, that's physical mastery. Next, relationship mastery. What does that look like? Okay, both significant other, network, community, all of that. What does 9 or 10 look like for relationship mastery? All right, next, financial mastery. You may not even have the full vocabulary of what a 9 or 10 in financial mastery looks like. For example, do you know what a trust is? Do you know what a private family office is? Do you know what a balance sheet is? You know what cash flow is? Maybe some accounting terms, right? So you may have to do some more research. You can reach out to me as well. I can share some things with you. I have a bunch of lists that I've used, both within my own self-development practice and just in general from all the books and conferences I've been to. So I can share that with you. But financial mastery, 9 or 10, what does that look like? And 5, what does time mastery look like? What does it look like for you to be a 9 or 10 so you are a master of time, not just managing your time? How do you relate to various timelines? How do you relate to realizing that it takes time for things to grow? There's a time lag. Are you patient enough? Are you urgent enough? How is your relationship to time, right? What would that look like for a 9 or 10? All right. So you wrote that out. Now, overall, right? Look, what do you need to do now? It all comes down to this, right? You can talk about theories all day and write out your goals and all that stuff. Now it comes down to what is the next obvious actions that you need to do in each to make it become a reality. So you can move from whatever number you were to that 9 or that 10. And if you want to hang out with people who are on the track to 9s and 10s, and some of them are even at a 9, maybe not a 10 yet, but for sure 9s, join us, right? So this type of exercise that we do in the group called Self-Perfected, I just came from a clubhouse that's a local meeting. We're in 23 cities around the world, many more. By the time you're listening to this, I'm sure it's grown. As well as the group of us that uses a tool called TechnoTutor. We do something called DIP. This is for the people that are really, really dedicated to the mastery. You got to master yourself on the inside out, especially at that unconscious, subconscious level. And that's all the tools in Self-Perfected. And with TechnoTutor, that's what we're working on, is mapping that out. So you want to get yourself to that 9 or 10, or even make yourself, let's say you're a 5 and you want to get yourself to a 6. You got to hang out with the right people, right? Let's begin that step for relationship mastery that will lead to the other levels of mastery by being connected with the right people. Okay? So that is an exercise that I know will help you, right? So do it within your self-honesty. Maybe set a reminder, do it again in a week or so, do it again in a month or so, and then go take action on it. Because as you do that, everything in your life will become more of a masterpiece. And then the intent is released, and now you can share this with other people and make the world a better place. All right, see you in the next video.